Well, Underground Soul Solution was just basically a platform I wanted to create for an audience that weren't conformist. They didn't conform to like the radio music, the same stuff that a lot of people listen to on a regular basis. They want something more. They want some mystery. They want some excitement. They want some intrigue. They want some drama. Take them someplace where they've never been before. What's special about it is actually the vision that I envision is actually coming true, because you have a lot of people who are now playing the form of music. And not only that, they're making the form of music, but they're also coming to the parties, and everybody there is on an even keel. I mean, you have people who come there to dance, and they accept it. You got some people coming there, like my friend Ben, the saxophone, he plays from the heart. You got other people bring their drums and they play from the heart. Well, that was the first time I actually was spending in a nightclub was probably late August or mid-August of 1978. And what happened was the DJ who was there, actually got sick, and I had to fill in for him. Everyone was in a panic because they couldn't find a DJ, but they knew I collected records and they needed somebody actually to save the evening. So I got up there and I played all the right records. Basically, I played the hits. I kind of like threw things in, but I knew I had to work at my art and craft.
How dare you start filming me? How dare you start filming me when I'm trying to get this shit together? Check your needle? Yeah, the needle.
The nightclubs, going out to the nightclub for me when I was going out, it was like a new beginning for me, going out. And it's exciting. And, 19 years old, going to a club where there's people there that's older than me, maybe 10 years older, maybe 20 years older, but they were out there dancing on the floor and sharing musical tastes and musical experiences about times at this club and that club. And actually, I didn't know I was learning. And it was a nurturing place for me, because the older ones used to always look after me, turn me on to record stores where I can get better music. But some of them used to say, you got potential, but you need to go here. You need to get some new music, that kind of thing. I would listen to it, because I knew these are the people I'm playing for. So the Underground Soul Solution was actually born, that entity was born in 1991. And I started at this place called the Opera. When it caught fire, when I really had a home, was at the State of the Union. And I was proud that the State of the Union was such a great vehicle, because I was on U Street around a lot of African Americans who no longer had the diet of the form of house music, because there were a lot of clubs when they played house music, they'll play Follow Me, Percolator, Hot Music, Nightcrawler, Push the Feeling On, Deep Inside. They'll play the same old random stuff all the time. But the music kept going. It's just that they were in those clubs that required them to play popular music that they were familiar with. And when you don't challenge your audience will die. I mean, because if you keep giving a human being the same thing, they're going to lose interest. Because a human being is nothing but an accelerated animal. Because you think about people who are junkies. You give them their first fix, They want more, whether it's drugs or sex, food, or whatever addiction it may be.
When I first moved to DC, my first place was actually right up the street. And we would come to State of the Union to hang out because it was grungy and fun and exciting and full of energy and full of life. And at the time, so were we. So it was very in line with the way we were thinking and acting. The music was always great, full of energy, full of life, and so were the people. This is kind of the place where you go and you just let go and let the music take you. And that's one of the great things about Sam, one of the great things about State of the Union and U Street.
Wow, what year was I here? State of the Union. Man, it had to be like mid-90s. I used to come to the parties here and just like, this is one of the first places, like right after a really good place called Track shut down, and is one of the best underground parties outside of New York City, where just the energy and the vibe and, you know, the party that Sam was kind of throwing, Soul Solution, just anybody that was really trying to dance and really listen to some really great house music would come here. The music was live, the energy was live. You know, a lot of these good spots are just shut down over the years. In DC, unfortunately, in the 90s, you know, it was like the apex of really good house music, and then also a lot of stuff just being like shut down. What I remember is just, you know, the people, the party, the vibe. The music was just hot, 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 deep tracks from everywhere. So, you know, he was just really bringing an energy that you really wouldn't get anywhere else in parties in DC, because it was either extreme one end or extreme the other end. So for people that were really trying to find something that had something of substance, that's really what I remember about, you know, State of the Union and the parties that Sam used to throw.
All right, my name is Junius Brickhouse. People call me House. Well, where do we start? I mean, yeah. I'm originally from Virginia Beach, Virginia. I'm a dancer, member of Assassin's Crew. I had my start in Atlanta, Georgia, about 1995. In 95, down in Georgia, there wasn't a lot of dance culture. I mean, house music culture was really big, but there weren't a lot of dances, you know, very small community of people. So in order for us to actually get out and get that experience and get that education in dance culture, we used to travel, and we actually used to come up here. We used to go to Buzz, Edge, State of the Union, Tracks, you know, all those places, you know, was where we got our education. Some of the best dances on the East Coast were here in this area at that time. So I guess the first time I came to Red and I stood outside of this place, it was early in 1997. Yeah, and I guess the best thing that, you know, the best way I can describe it was a revolution. You know, it was just something just happened, you know, when we like came here. It's like, you know, you stand out here, you stand in line, but once you got in and you went down those stairs, it was you just felt like you were home. You know, it was like our little Mecca. You know, it was like the first time we came here, it was just like, this is what it's supposed to be like. You know, and to be honest with you, we came here maybe 3 or 4 times, and we would drive up here from Atlanta and Augusta. You know, on the way we would like meet people along the way, so it would be like 3 carloads of people who were coming from Raleigh, people who were coming from Greenville, South Carolina, some people even coming from Charleston. We would all meet like somewhere up 95 and get up here. And we all would come here and we were just like, dude, why can't it be like this like everywhere? And it wasn't until maybe the 3rd or 4th time that we came here that we actually even met Sam, you know? And because we were just in the music, you know, we were just in the vibe, on the floor, you know, and it was an amazing experience for us. Later on in '97, I moved to Heidelberg, Germany. My travels took me there. And sadly enough, you know, there wasn't a place even there that fueled, you know, our love for this music and for this culture. So I would travel back. You know, when I come here to visit, I made sure that I come back at least 4 times a year to come back to this place, because it was our home, you know, for our dance and for our culture. And the key to that was Sam, you know, and in my opinion, you know, it's like, to this day, you know, me and Sam, I don't know him, like, we don't go out, we don't hang out, we don't eat together, you know, but the relationship that I have with him is so spiritual, you know, through the music, you know, and I really appreciate him for that. I can't say that enough.
All right, so I guess my first experience with Sam spinning would have been at Red before the party closed down. I've been in the house scene for a number of years in this area. I started going out when I was real young, probably before I was supposed to be going out. And I've been following the music and the scene for a really long time. But there was definitely something different for me when I found a party that Sam was spinning at. The music that he spins is, it's different. It just speaks to me in a different way, especially as a dancer. I was able to find a whole new style of dance that I didn't even know I was capable of with the music that he chooses. And when they closed the Red party, I was really discouraged, because I thought I had just finally found a DJ that was going to really, you know, bring the music that moved me. So I was really excited to hear that the party had moved over to Dragonfly. So I've probably had most of my experience with him since he's been at that party on Sunday nights, and it's pretty amazing, you know, the way that he carries the party. I mean, the vibe is always there, it's always real, and the people just love it, you know.
I didn't attend the last party because I was protesting. And I didn't think that I didn't really understand, I guess, the politics in DC and movement from Red being this wonderful house club turning into a very commercial hip hop spot. And the transition from what Red had to offer to going into Dragonfly took a lot of adjustment. And at first, you know, people weren't going to the party at all, but, you know, like anything else, it's definitely grown.
What do you feel, I mean, why wouldn't people go to the party? Because Sam was still Sam, you know, so why do you feel like...
Well, there's also connection with environment. Definitely.
Yeah, I think definitely, because the whole nature of house culture is being underground, and because Red is literally underground, whereas when you have to like go into a different building and you're actually elevating yourself, then just environment, you know, not that Dragonfly is not a nice locale, but it's just something about being underground and going underground with underground culture. I mean, I've been to other clubs around the country, around the world, and there's just something about when you physically go underground, and it brings this whole thing of secrecy, but then it's a communal spirit with people that you understand and connect with. And like what she said, that even if I haven't seen you all week or seen you in like 2 months, as soon as in music and I look at you and we're sharing baby powder in the floor together, you know, it's just like, hey, you know, it's just like I talked to you yesterday or talked to you that morning. It's like, what's up, you know? So, and by the environment itself, and then having him being able to kind of like help us get lost in, you know, translating and communicating with just our bodies and the music and having that interconnection, that's just, you know, really what he brings to me as a dancer, you know.
The location, I don't feel the location, for me, the location means a lot, but at the same token, I have to keep the party going. In Washington, D.C., house music is not revered and is respected as it should be. All I'm just doing is giving an alternative. All I'm trying to do is provide a service that people can come in and have a great time. When I was at the State of the Union, I had like probably 95%, maybe 85% black folks that were there, and they were loving it. And then when I left the State of the Union to go to Red, you had some that left, but they were comfortable being at the State of the Union. The State of the Union at the time was on its last toe, and I was not going to stay there because I felt the party deserved to grow and move on. And when I went to Red, you had certain people who were already accustomed to the place. Oh, this is a great addition. What was great about Red was the sound system and the ambiance, or you can keep it dark and, you know, just keep it real mysterious. And the sound system in that room was just so perfect for whatever you was going to do. And you had to move. And now when I had to move the party, Red had closed officially it closed October 23rd, 2005. It was a Sunday night. The following Sunday, I was at Dragonfly, because I believe if there was a 6-month gap with house music in this town for what I was doing, or my party, it would have had a big adverse effect. Well, me moving to Dragonfly was an adjustment for a lot of people. And now Dragonfly, you know, they come there. Matter of fact, there's new people that come there that didn't like Red, because Red to them was like going into hell. It was a basement. And by 2001, because the Fuddruckers were upstairs, they didn't care about the pipes downstairs. They cared about the pipes upstairs. So some of the sewage would leak down into Red and would overflow the place. And it would just smell like ass. And just certain people were coming there like, ooh, damn, I need to do something about it. And people coming back, it was still that little stench, and you had certain people didn't care. And where they go to Dragonfly, it's cleaner. It's a nice place if you want to take a young lady or take a date or whomever. It has a nice ambiance, and also too, you can like look out in the street, Connecticut Avenue, and Connecticut Avenue is a beautiful view out there. So just the venues.
I wouldn't necessarily call myself a house head because my music style is pretty eclectic, but the first time I was introduced to the house scene was in New York, and when I finally moved here to DC, just speaking with a couple of friends, they put me onto a party that was happening at DC Sanctuary, and that was the first time I actually had the opportunity to try to be, experience the underground house scene here. And then from there I heard about this, wonderful DJ called Sam the Man Burns, who had this party at Dragonfly, and it was, the best thing since Red, and you should check it out. And one Sunday I decided to come by, and I was absolutely floored by the energy that was there. The one thing about Dragonfly that's interesting, and I'm not sure if it's dealing with like the location or the people who actually hear about the party, but it's a very diverse group of people. It's almost like an annex of the city where people just come together from different walks of life, probably different, styles of music as well, to really just participate in the energy that's there. It's racially diverse, it's, occupationally diverse, and the one thing that people are coming there to do is to really just sort of dance and let go and take advantage of the music and the energy. It's one of the most open parties I've ever experienced. And because it's on Sunday, a lot of times you can probably catch me coming in, just sort of dancing off any sort of anxiety or energy, negative energy, positive energy, whatever, just to get ready for, the new week. So.
I've come to feel almost like it's kind of like family, an ability to be able to come together every week, and you may not talk to each other during the week at all, but all of us have stress that we go through, and being able to connect through expression and feed off of each other and work out and learn from one another, whether that's dance moves or just the story of life. That's what house music is to me. It's very positive and wonderful. So we've also grown together too.
Okay, the energy in the club, it's very kinetic. We feed off each other's energy, because I'll see somebody who is really excited and very passionate about it. I might have to find a record that will match that person's passion or that energy. But also too, once you see a person come to hear you play on a regular basis, and they might ask you for something, you probably know what their tastes are. So they might like percussions. Some people might like a heavy bass line. Some people might like lyrics, something that's going to touch them. You might have somebody that wants just something real raw. So if I keying in on these people, I know when to shift gears. So I might play something where I'm changing the energy, and I know they're going to go crazy.
Well, I mean, spirituality is a very individual thing, but one of the things that I can actually get from the party, again, is the diversity and the different types of people and energy that exists there. You know, regardless of who you are, who you know, how tall you are, you know, what business you run, it's basically everyone coming together just to enjoy the music. And to me, that is the epitome of the spirituality in and of itself. It's that oneness that exists that you probably won't get at any other scenes in the city. I mean, sure, there are a lot of great parties that go on. There are a lot of great DJs that exist here. There's, you know, all different types of scenes here that are in DC, but I have not found one yet that just has the complete openness and sort of like I like to call it the church feel, where everyone is welcome. Everyone can come do their thing, and it's completely without judgment. And to me, that is the epitome of spirituality.
Spirituality is very important for the party, because how many times you've gone to a nightclub and you paid your admission and you paid the drink prices and you're there and you walked away, you left, got in your car and went home and then got nothing out of it. And I remember going to nightclubs and parties where I walked out of there a changed human being, where I walked in and I was dancing and I heard sounds like, what is this tune? What is this song? Running up to the DJ booth, experiencing the record about 2 hours later in the other room, the other DJ is banging it, and I'm like, what is this? I got to play it. And knowing what music does to people emotionally, you know, it takes you there, especially if you're open up to it. And the whole spirituality thing is just great when the room is so hot and condensation is dripping off the walls and people just don't really care, and people are just hugging each other, but they say, I'm wet, I'm wet. I know you're wet, and that kind of thing. But it's just a good feeling just to see people that released, you know, because these people got these 9-to-5 jobs. Their last name is Banks, Butler, Burns, Williams, whatever, and they're called that. Where here, they can go and fall out on the floor and, you know, act like a damn fool, and people are cheering them on. Now, they couldn't do that at the water cooler. They would call security and have them thrown out. But it's just a good feeling, and just to feel and see that. And just, it's a beautiful thing when you see a dancer do something that nobody else is doing before. There'll be a woman, and she's doing power moves and making people look ridiculous. And you have one guy, the way he's dancing is so subtle. It's like, how can he have so much control? That individual's working on technique the whole time. And then you got certain people who come off the street and they feel the music and they do their own thing. And it's about doing your own thing. You know, nobody's stopping you. And like I said earlier, it's breaking out of conformity. Yeah.